Hello again, viewers, and greetings, fellow space travelers. This is Thorn of Night, and welcome back to another day on the Performium Duck SMP. And I am staring at a wall, but for good reason, because I wanted to let you know that you have the power to change this number right here. This is my current number of subscribers, and he would like to see that go up. So if you have not yet already subscribed, please go down to the little red box under this video and click subscribe. It doesn't hurt you. It makes me feel good. We all win. But anyway, I am here at the base, and actually I should probably do something about this room, but that's not on today's agenda. Today, I want to see about getting some work done with this thing here. This was the Best Beast Love's attempt at making some sort of tree build, and there was an attempt to make a tree grow on a tree and do some things like that to make it look a little fancier. But I think that I can take the general idea of this place and oh, I love those birds. I love them. And I can get some plant life going through here. I see what she's tried to do by using the logs to make it look like the trees are growing up and filling in, but then there's this whole under place that's hard to access, and it's this closed in spot, and I think there's really only one way in to here that she has left. Yeah, and it's no, maybe no, that's not the way in. How to? Oh, oh. Okay. Well, I see sort of what's going on here. Yeah, I have some ideas. She has a viewing platform here that she was using to look out over the yard and see the lake and stuff like that. But I think that there is some room for improvement here. I think that I can give this a nice builder's touch. So I'm going to make this part of today's task. Also, though, today I would like to go over to home volcano. I would like to go over to the place where the volcano is being built because the interior of the main claim is very nearly done. All that remains, let's see here. Really, all that remains is about 1.5 strips of water, and everything else is just tearing down the interior walls. Now, you may notice that there are some spokes that come out from the center, and these guys mark the 350 block radius from in each direction from the center to make a 701 block circle. And this circle is going to be the, let's say, the blast radius of the tsunami that's going to be getting built. Now, I have a lot of sand and I also have a lot of glass and other materials that I'm going to be using for building the tsunami. But the first thing I need to do is get the circle in place. But inside the circle, there are a few other things to take care of. If it comes out way over there and it arcs all the way over there and goes towards the far point on that side, then that means this island is going to be inside. Now, I'm not going to entirely tear it down. I am going to get rid of much of the sand, all the water's going to get taken away, but I have a sort of a plan for a lot of these little islands that are in or very nearby the blast radius. And aha, what I want to do is all of these little islands and high spots, and including that one over there, I want to include them in the build because all this is getting taken out. All the water inside the perimeter, inside the circumference of the circle, all of this water, all the way around through here and all the way around, big old 701 block circle, all the water is going to be just gone. And that's going to make a lot of the terrain look a little bit, well, funny. But I have plans for it because if there's one volcano in the middle, there's nothing that says the other volcanoes can't be doing a little bit of erupting on their own around it. So I'm going to be turning these islands into little mini volcano islands that have a little bit of eruption going on with them as well. But I'm not going to be doing a blast radius out from them. This is the only one that's going to count, the main island. Now this one, the island is going to be mostly all the way out to the edge. There's going to be a little bit of variance, and I think there's going to be, where did I decide to do that? It wasn't it wasn't there because this is that high spot. So I think it's going to have to be here. It is going to be a little bit of a, I guess, a bay right here. And then the rest of the island is going to be a uh, sort of a nested volcano. There's going to be a cinder cone in the middle, and then around it is going to be a larger, wider, collapsed caldera kind of a volcano. But I have smaller volcanoes in mind for these little islands that I'm going to include in the build as a whole. And in order to do that, though, I'm going to need to clear out all the water for this whole area. And that's going to be a big monumental task. So I've started on this for now, the clearing out of this, so I can get the island sort of going. But then out here today, specifically, what I want to do is mark the actual circle. And I have brought up a pixel circle generator thingy, and it is a little blurry for me to work with, but the counts look like they're all going to add up. So I have a 701 block diameter circle planned out, and I'm going to be building the circle above the water first so I can see for sure what's inside and outside. And then after that, I'm going to uh, go through and make some decisions about some of these outlier islands. I'm going to have to decide what to do with these little outlier islands. I think maybe have some sort of outpost to go with them or something, but for right now, what I'm going to do is just work on finishing up the water trenches, get all the water out of here, and then put in the outer circle all the way around, and then also that big old tree that I have planned. So lots to do today, and it is now raining. So I'm going to get to work on probably this to get it out of the way and then finish things off with that tree and see how things go. So I will talk to you in a bit. All right, I am pleased to announce that the deletion of the water from the inside of this claimed part is entirely finished. There's still terrain that needs to be changed in here, but the actual water, all gone. And now I have to do something a little bit different than I was originally planning. the idea was, here, let me go out this way. I have measured out the ring and put in the guideline for it. And oh, there's Kettles helping me put the underside of this. And I realized that if we're going to be deleting the water, it's going to be most simple instead of doing it from the inside and working our way out, which would take more and more and more sand. It's going to be just way simpler to just get rid of the water from one end of the circle going this direction. That way when we get to the middle, we have to use fewer blocks, some on both sides of that already cleared spot, and then work our way out from there. Uh, it's going to, because of the way I'm designing it, it's going to have a slant that comes down from here and goes down in about down 2/1. So that sort of angle there, and that is going to have the water spilling down from a block that'll be broken on the inside. And then that will be the inside edge of the water drained area. There's going to be water flowing from here down after everything is all taken care of, but everything inside is first going to need to be deleted. But the only way to do that effectively is going to have to be to put in the glass that is going to need to be this side of the tsunami. So we are going to be uh, going down step by step. I'll be putting in some glass on this side of these blocks, and then the next ring in will get more and more and more as we go further down. Well, I guess less because it's a smaller circle, so that's fewer blocks. That's better news, actually. And then once that's in place, then we can start actually deleting the water from one side of the circle, going all the way to the other side. Now I have on one of these spokes done the preliminary concept that I have for the shape of the wave right here. And let me go ahead and, no, give me my cobblestone. It's not an infinite supply on this world. All right, it's better to see from this side. The general shape of the wave, this is going to be above the water, all this wave is. So where my head is, right here will be the water level, and then all of this will be above the water. So the glass that's going to be getting used for the wave, this right here, this is the ring and the 2 blocks underneath it, and then this is where the glass is going to be. And so all of this is going to get filled with glass, and then the water is going to be, or the glass is going to emulate water coming over and crashing. Most of this is going to be white and also packed ice, and then back here is going to be predominantly blue, light blue, cyan, and a little white, and about uh, maybe about a third of it is going to be clear. And then that's going to be all filled in. And below the water line will be 1 block of water left as water itself, and then everything else is going to be back here is going to be all glass blocks for the tsunami, and then everything outside the tsunami is just going to be, regular ocean. So this is the actual meat and potatoes of the wave, but in order to get the whole area cleared out, the back end of the wall of water is going to have to be put into place first as a slant of glass. So that's what I'm going to have to do. I will need to make sure that I've got enough of the different glass colors for that, but that is where I am right now. And because of how this is going to have to work, I may have to hold off on the tree until the next episode because I want to get this sort of started sooner rather than later. It's going to be a lot simpler once I get under the water level because it will be just clear glass all the way down because there doesn't need to be anything fancy because the water is going to be rushing down over it from the spillover. and then it's only up here that I'm going to need any colored glass. So that is going to drastically change my initial estimates for supplies that I needed, but it's still going to be a lot. For instance, this one ring, well, this isn't a ring, but that one ring out there, one layer of it, one line, is somewhere around 3,000-ish blocks. And so I'm going to need dub chest after dub chest after dub chest just to get this part, not counting the clear glass that's going to be needed for down below. So I'm going to need a lot of colored glass. Thankfully, I've got a head start on that from donations and making some of my own, and just finding some from destroyed buildings out in the wild. But I'm going to have to do a little bit of counting and some busy work to make sure that I've got enough. But I at least can go ahead and put the first two layers, these two blocks here, in on the back end of what I've got built already. So I'm going to go ahead, get the glass, start building it, and uh, I guess figure out what I need to do from there supplies wise. I will say this, I had a lot fewer mistakes putting in the ring than I was originally expecting I would. I have a hard time keeping everything nailed down on circles anywhere above about 100. I start losing count and losing track of where I am on my sheets and all that kind of stuff. I only had one mess up when I first started. I estimated wrong where I was on my chart, and then I had to pick back up. I think it was somewhere around here. I had one or two little segments too few, and so I had to backtrack all the way back to here from the next quarter and then start right back up. And then elsewhere I had two other ones, but they were much more easily fixed, and I caught them much earlier on. So I'm very glad that that didn't take up all of my time. But this is definitely not a tiny project, even by my standards, especially for not having world edit. This is absolutely a large project. So I'm going to go get glass. I'm going to put in the back end of the wave wall, and then we'll see where we are from there. I'll be back. All right, a bit of an update. I have been dealing with some sort of eye thing, and I'm not going to go into too many details right now. Suffice it to say, I'm wearing sunglasses, and I have been trying my best to keep my eyes shut. And I have discovered so many of my pieces of software on my computer have a dark mode, and I've been working at night. As a matter of fact, I am starting to get frustrated with the stars, and I'm thinking about seeing if there's something I can do to, get rid of the stars. Because keeping it paused at night, at any point, it makes the whole skybox twitch around. But anyway, in order to keep on working slowly for you guys, I have been working on the wave, and this represents the parts that I have finished. Um, this is the back end of the wave. Obviously, it comes this way and goes out away from the volcano. So this would be the center here. And so if this was the wave, that direction would be right there. And this would be away from the center. Ow. And what I have done is I've gone through with the help of Cuddles, who is helping do the underwater part. I have gone through and put in a series of rings around the outside of this area and started building things up. And I'm sorry that it's dark. It's not actually nighttime, probably, but it's a lot better for me like this. So what I've got here, this is the back of the wave. This is the next tier in. I have just gotten rid of some scaffolding that I had here for a ring, and I'm going to be filling in this bottom layer. Then everything that's missing between there and there is going to be 3 tall, which is this height here. And then this is going to be the front of the wave. I've put in some white glass and some white wool to make the foam that happens under a wave. and then there's going to be a lot more foam, some light blue wool, maybe some packed ice, but that's pretty rare and valuable, and this is an area that I'd rather not lose things, and people tend not to steal glass and wool, but other stuff that's quick to mine, I might not go that level of detail. I was thinking about it, but I have other uses I want to put the packed ice toward, so I'll use those first, and then I'll do some accents out here afterward, maybe. But for right now, all the way around, this is the level of completeness, and I'll come down here, and wow, she has been busy, busy. Oh my goodness. This wall is, as you can see, it slopes all the way down, and then it will turn into this wave that comes up here. These stone rings will be getting taken out after the project is done. They're just there for stepping down and having the connection point. But things are coming along okay, all things considered, and hopefully I will be able to get this done in relative quickness. Not the water draining, that's going to take ages, probably. But the wave itself, I think, is going to be finished pretty quick at the rate things are going. It seems like we have enough glass. Um, the determining factor will be how much is used in here, but much of this is going to be wool, so I'm not as concerned about having the glass in place up here, so it's probably just going to be the wool blocks. So there's less glass involved than even my smaller estimates were from before, so that's nice. But I'm going to sort of see where things are, maybe put in another layer or so, probably fill in this so that I can have the stage wrapped up. And then I think it's going to be time for me to go ahead and wrap up the episode after that because I want to get this out. This has taken forever because of my eye. This is so uncomfortable, uh, and I wish this on no one. But I'm going to get back to work on this, so you guys have at least one more row of completeness to look at. I will not be getting to the tree in today's episode because uh, reasons of eyeball and how this seems to have taken over my time. So the tree will be a future episode, and that'll give me more time to think about a design for it anyway, instead of trying to come up with something on the spot. So I'm going to get back to work on the last bit of what I'll be doing for this for today. And in the meantime, I will be planning on some other episodes that I've got coming, including the tree, which should be the next episode, along with finishing this outer ring. Now, as far as filling in the inside of that, that's going to be maybe an occasional update once a month or something like that until it's done. But anyway, I'm going to get back to work, finish this off, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I have finished off the last little bit under here. It is just like the one in front of it. It is just a mix of white glass and white wool, and that's it. And then I will be filling in the bottom here all the way around with the assortment you see here all the way up to 3 high, but that's going to be something for future me. Uh, Also, I have remembered to turn down the brightness on my monitor. That's helped a little bit, and I also made it midnight all the time using the command. That way the moon is doing its little dance up there, so at least that isn't as annoying when I'm placing blocks, but I really hope this fixes itself soon. I can't afford a doctor bill. Anyway, I think that with as much as I've gotten done on this already, and especially with the a little bit of planning and extra measurements I'm going to have to do for the rings that go around up here, because let's see here, this is a 699 uh, diameter circle. This is a 701, 703, 705, and 707. and 709. And as I make the extra parts of the wave, I have to keep in mind that they need to be rings. So I have to recalculate each ring each time. So there's still quite a bit more to do for the front end of this wave. This part's going to be relatively easy, but this part's going to be a bit of a pain. So that's something for future me to work on. Right now, me is going to go ahead and wrap this up because I would like to stop looking at the screen again. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave a message in the comment section below. If you like this video, do give it a like. I appreciate it and it does help. And also, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so that I can work on that 2,000 subscriber mark and beyond. But for right now, I need to stop looking at the screen, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you very much for watching. This is Thorn of Night, and I will talk to you later.